Thank you for stopping by Ballistic Barbecue. On this video, I'm going to be smoking up a beautiful pork tenderloin wrapped in an even more beautiful pork belly. Let's get going. All right, to be honest with you, I'm not even sure what to call this dish. The inspiration was both porchetta and then also the Cuban style of cooking pork. And right now I'm craving some good pork, and I think this is going to fulfill that craving. First thing we are going to do is make a marinade, and it's kind of a mojo marinade. And I got this recipe off of the La Cajachina website, and they're calling it a Mojo Criollo. I'm probably butchered the name, but it's basically a mojo with the addition of some pineapple juice. So let's get going. We're going to start off with 1 cup of bitter orange juice, and you can substitute just regular orange juice with a little lime if you want, if you don't have access to this. 4 ounces of pineapple juice, 4 ounces of water, 1 whole bulb of garlic, a lot of garlic going on, 1 teaspoon cumin, 1 tablespoon oregano, and I'm using Mexican oregano, 4 teaspoons of salt, and about 1 tablespoon of bay leaf. Plug your ears. And there we go, the Mojo Criollo. Now the next step will be marinating the pork tenderloin and the pork belly. And what I did last night was I took my pork belly and I scored it with a knife to score the skin, and just threw both the pork belly and the pork tenderloin in a bag filled with this stuff right here. And this is not going to waste. What I'm going to do is I have some leftover pork belly, and I'm going to add a little like an Instacure to this, and I'm going to make some bacon. I'm going to make kind of a Cuban inspired bacon, but only I'm going to smoke it with tangerine wood because I have a tangerine tree in the backyard. Anyway, let's move on to the next step. All right, here's that pork belly again. I did score the skin. Those 2 pork tenderloins, these marinated overnight, and the bay leaves that you see here are pretty soft now. They'll get even softer as this cooks. Basically what I did was I pulled them out of the bag, kind of shook it off, gave it a light patting with a paper towel. What we're going to do now is wrap this, like again, kind of like you would a porchetta, then we'll get it all trussed up. And here we are. Not the prettiest truss job in the world, but it'll work. I found actually it was a little difficult trussing this with those scores in the pork skin. It was creating, you know, some resistance when I was trying to pull the string through. So anyway, we got through it. Now we're going to go ahead and season the outside. One of the reasons why I scored the skin is so some of the seasoning could penetrate through along with that marinade. And again, I'm all over the place with flavors here. First thing I'm going to do is rub this down with just a little bit of, this is 100% avocado oil. Now we're going to season it, and we're going to North Africa now. This is that chicken rub that I made for the Wild Wild Wings with all those North African flavors going on. And this stuff is insane. I mean, I've tried it on pork, I've tried it on pretty much everything, and I'm in love with it. So it's good stuff. And I'm going to hit it pretty liberally here. Now I was actually contemplating putting this on the inside of the pork as well, on the inside before I rolled it up. But I just didn't want it to conflict with the that mojo. So I'm thinking we're going to have some really cool layers of flavor here. And you know, with the pork skin being scored like that, it'll break off into little nice bite-sized morsels if you want to just, you know, snack on those. So the season's going to be good. All right, that looks great. I have the Primo preheated out in the patio. I will meet you outside. Okay, I have the Primo running at 250 degrees, and we are using apple wood for this cook. Let's get this big old piece of pork on the pit. Get this guy right dead center. And let's get that temperature probe into the meat. I want to make sure that I touch those tenderloins in there. Close that lid. All right, now for this cook, I'm using my new favorite toy. I showed it to you a couple of videos ago, that ThermoWorks smoke. Very, very easy to use, very, very accurate. Let's check it out. All right, so here's the internal temp of the pit right now. I had it set for 250. You can see the heat's rising. I had the lid open, so it's definitely going to drop. My high alarm set for 300, low alarm set for 200. Let's get that alarm turned on. As far as the meat's concerned, my goal temperature is 145. So this is a pretty easy cook now. We're not making pulled pork, so it's going to be, in barbecue terms, a relatively short cook. We are going to slice it when it's done. So really the only thing left to do is to kick back, let the Primo do its job, have a beer. See you in a bit. All right, we're a little under 3 hours into this cook now. I'm about 5 or 6 degrees shy of my target temperature of 145 internal on that meat. It's looking beautiful. I'll show it to you in a sec. I just want to get a little bit more crunchiness, a little bit more texture of the skin. First, let me show you the meat. There you go. Some beautiful color, beautiful color. It smells so good. Go ahead and close the lid. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to shift the Primo into high gear. I'm going to open up the upper and lower damper, let that temperature come up quickly. It'll easily hit 500 degrees, get a nice crisp to the outside of that skin, and in the meantime, I'll be bringing that internal temperature up. So that's the next step. We'll see you in a bit. All right, we are at the target temp and the skin is much crisper. Check that out. I'm going to go ahead and pull this off the pit, take it inside, let it rest, and then we'll slice it up. Meet you inside. All right, so it's rested, it's smelling good. When I was taking off the twine, little pieces of skin were coming off, and wow, really, really good. There's nothing that tops pork fat. Now, when I undid the trussing, it did separate just a little bit, which I totally expected. I didn't roll this like you would a porchetta. I was just, basically my goal was to encase pretty lean pork tenderloin in a fatty blanket of pork belly, which is what I accomplished. And the pork tenderloin's looking very, very moist. So excited about this one here, guys. Let's go ahead and give this a slice. Very tender, juices everywhere. Oh, wow, look at that. Let me go ahead and give this a slice. Tenderloin's done to a medium, which is what I was wanting. Wow, I mean, it's like butter. Mm. Wow. This is delicious. I just wanted to do something a little different than the norm. And this is a little different than the norm, I think. This belly is so killer. Oh. That sticky pork fat. Very pleased with this, very pleased. The Primo rocked it as usual. Now it's time for a little beer spotlight. Now first off, a little spotlight on the glass. This was given to me by a good buddy, Jason Ganal. He sent me a kind of a barbecue care package. Now Jason has a channel called GQ Barbecue, and he is a champion barbecue. I mean, he's in the competitive circuit and he's a winner. He recently opened what has turned into an extremely successful restaurant in Colorado. I'll have links to the restaurant, links to his channel down below. And I do plan on giving Jason a more fitting shout out because one of the things he sent me was a rub that is just amazing, amazing rub. So this is his glass. link to his channel. Click additional information down below, or show more, I think it is now, and you'll see a link to his channel. Check him out. Now for the beer. This beer is really good. It comes out of a little brewery in North County, San Diego, a little town called Vista. And you see that is the brewery's Belching Beaver, which is a cool name in itself. Now this is a peanut butter milk stout, which sounds crazy, but it works. I gotta tell you, it works. Let's give a pour here. I mean, look at that. It has that sort of a Guinnessy look, but it looks almost like an espresso in color. The first time I tried this, I was real skeptical. Now, I got a can because they sell it in 6-packs in cans or 22-ounce bottles. And for me, I'd rather have the smaller amounts because I'm not gonna, honestly, the way I drink beer, I'm not drinking a 22-ounce bottle at one time. It's just not that enjoyable for me. But when you first crack this open and get that aroma, it has the smell or the aroma of kind of roasted peanuts. Now, on that first sip, it has almost a kind of a coffee flavor, like I said, an espresso flavor. I'm not a beer reviewer, guys, but this is what I'm tasting. But then as you're swallowing the beer, you get that roasted peanut flavor, but it's not like some crazy sweet peanut buttery flavor. It's just a little bit of a hint of roasted peanuts. And I absolutely love this coffee. This beer. And it goes great with beef. Goes good with pork too, but it was kind of unique and I wanted to show it to you guys. I had some of it in my little fridge outside. Anyway, I'm blathering. Thank you guys for stopping by. I'll see you on the next video. Keep the suggestions coming in. Believe me, I'm keeping them all, but email them. I'll have the email down below. Don't write them in the comments because they get lost that way. I'll see you on the next video. Cheers.